All right, y'all. Welcome back. This is part two of our doubleheader coverage today. We got Butler versus Marquette out of the Big East. I'm Longbone. With me is Superman. We're about to hop into the game. We're a bit late, we know. We apologize. We had some technical difficulties. Be sure to check out our other matches streaming right now over on twitch.tv/Big East Esports. On the screen, you can see the Twitch link to type in to go to them. So you got Georgetown and Connecticut. But again, we got Butler and Marquette. I'm excited. These are two top tier teams today that we have within the Big East. Superman, tell me about it.
Yeah, we're here into week 2, which is still early on in the season overall, but I am looking forward to seeing what Butler can bring us today. Last week, if you were on this channel, you got to see Butler just shut down Seton Hall. And that meant that Butler came out strong. We interviewed their AD carry, and he said Butler is poised to take it all. But if we're looking at the standings, then we would know Butler just lost their first game of the season so far to St. John's University over on the other stream just earlier today. So we got draft ready for you here of Marquette to take on Butler. Let's see if Butler still has what they showed us last week.
Going into Champ Select, we already see Vigar, Lilia, Ragus, and my new favorite champion, Seraphine, taking off the board. Fresh, following immediately after I get done talking. Let's talk about some of these bans right here. Seraphine, very powerful in the bot lane with that roots. Not really played it much mid, but still powerful there. Olaf coming off as well.
I see Misfortune available, though, as well as Kaisa. These 80 carry picks for Lundstorm could be great. Remember, we interviewed Lundstorm because he popped off last game. Hecarim going to be picked up. A curious first pick, while he's very strong as a jungler in terms of his quick clears, his mobility around the map. You kind of let your enemy know exactly what you're going for, and they can draft quite a bit of counter engage or peel for their backline and really shut that horse down. I do still want to stress Kaisa and Misfortune are both available, and they're stellar picks in the bottom side. I expect either team that picks them up, if one does not get picked up in the first round of this draft, it's going to get banned away in the next.
And on the other side, we have Galio being picked up. Wait and see that second pick. But I'm a bit surprised they didn't take one of those power pick ADCs here with that first, with this first rotation if they don't do it here. Though Samira, no slouch herself.
So Samira Galio as a bot lane duo is relatively strong. Galio can engage and disengage basically at will, and he combos really well with Samira being able to knock up a target that is also hard crowd controlled. Samira, fantastic scaling, great team fighter. I do want to say she's a little bit weaker in lane than some of the picks I was just mentioning. But okay, now I'm actually terrified because Camille is just an S+ tier pick. And they've picked that up for top side of the map for Mac. Mac actually had kind of a struggling game last game in their loss to SGU's Esports earlier today. He got that Aatrox pick into Gnar and just got bullied out over and over by the Gnar and Graves out of the jungle. So we'll be curious to see how much Mac gets visited in top lane by MGL to maybe change how their games have been going today. Darius locked in, who has a decent matchup into Camille, but I think Camille really does come out ahead if they're just left alone without jungle intervention. Now that the 80 carries have... Say again?
I just want to ask real quick, does it shock you that Darius was an insta-lock if it's not the best pick into Camille?
I mean, at the collegiate level, it really comes down to the comfort picks. And if somebody really feels strongly about Darius with either like a Stride Breaker mythic or something of the like, and wants to take that matchup, you definitely have the opportunity to take the Darius and snowball it. It's just as scary in 5v5 as it is in solo queue. So I am a little surprised to see it show up in competitive. It's not normally the kind of pick you see in 5v5 play, but if people feel strongly about it, they're going to pick it up and they're going to try and shine. So I look forward to seeing what Slickman can do with it on the top lane.
Yes. But on the blue side with Butler, we have some mid lane pinching in Malzahar and Victor On Marquette's side, we have support pinching with Leona and Pantheon. Orianna picked up as the mid lane for Marquette here. What answers do you think Butler will pull?
They might want to do the round 2 Electric Boogaloo with the Syndra again, like they did earlier today. The matchup was relatively even throughout the entire game, but yep, they will lock it in. So it's going to be a Syndra and Orianna. It's a decent matchup for both of them. It's relatively even. Both of them have that wave clear. They're the control mages. They can set the tempo in mid lane off of some jungle plays. But overall, I think I give the team fight to Orianna, as most people would, because she can affect multiple people at the same time with her ultimate.
Just waiting to see his last pick here. We're going to have that Vel'Koz down there supporting the MF. High damage, very, very high damage to pair with the MF. And we have the Ivern coming in to the jungle. Very, very supportive pick here coming out of Marquette's.
Ivern has been seen recently in competitive play as just that Moonstone Renewer, Staff of Flowing Water combo has risen to popularity. I expect to see that out of Ivern as quickly as he can build those items, which really does a lot for this composition. You've got really beefy frontliners. Now you've got 2 sets of shields. The only worry I have for Marquette in terms of their team fight is damage. If Orianna is going to be just shielding a lot of people in fights, that means she's not always dealing damage. And Samira definitely doesn't have enough damage on her own to chew through a Hecarim and a Camille, especially when Camille and Hecarim can separate her from the rest of the team fight. In terms of damage, though, on the blue side, Butler definitely has it in pretty much every role, including support. Vel'Koz, he's got true damage at the wazoo, and Misfortune has been that super strong 80 carry we've seen before. I'll be looking at that bottom lane, because if Galio can just hard initiate onto the Vel'Koz and they can shut him down, Misfortune will fall like a domino. That'll be really great in limiting the amount of damage that can come out of this Butler squad in an actual 5v5 engagement. Yes, they have a lot of damage, but it's hard to chew through all of those shields and the heals that'll come from Moonstone Renewer.
Yes, that is definitely a concern, is damage for Marquette into Butler. But hey, we're going to find out once I get back from this break and load into Summoner's Rift. So we'll catch y'all in just a few minutes.
All right. We are in this game with Marquette and Butler, as always, fanning out into that level 1 defensive perimeter along the river. Just, coming to say hi to their friends that they're about to try to viciously murder for gold and all that other good stuff. Just a small bits of friendliness before we get into the fighting.
Oh yeah, it's all about the journey and the friends you lose along the way here with League of Legends. We've got the Ivern in the jungle. It's the exciting pick in this match. It's been a while since we saw that in years previous, but now season 2021, we've been seeing it pop up in everywhere. It seems like it could go in any role, save maybe 80 carry or something like that. But we've seen it even in the top lane in the LEC, and it's been popping up in the LCK as well overseas. Gotta say, I'd be excited to see what it can bring to this match. Vizix is no stranger to those off-meta picks, or trend setting, as it were.
I would like to call attention to Snickers and like Mike. They are going to be setting up for a quick trade here in this bottom side tri-brush. And Butler has no idea what's about to happen. And we'll just let it play out. Can they get a kill? Doesn't look like it. But Lundstrom is probably going to have to back. And that is disastrous for this Butler team. Considering not only has MF blown both of her summoner spells, she also has to back and is going to miss out on the entire first wave and possibly a good chunk of the second wave.
Yeah, Ivern's first gank is the fact that he doesn't need a lynch, so you can do that kind of cheese against the bottom lane. They should have been aware and warded out when they were doing the 5 points there. So well played by Marquette to get those summoner spells out of bottom lane. They get 3 for their troubles in exchange for just the 1 ignite. That means they can have the extra pressure and deny a lot of this experience from the Misfortune. It means the power of the Misfortune Vel'Koz bottom lane, the level 6s that come through and basically you just die from a screen away, and there's not much you can do about it. That's
here goes Snickers, the mid lane. Forces Levi to flash. My goodness, they're just taking that early pressure they got off of that MF back and are just running with it. Physics now coming to the bot lane. Will they get the gank, or is he just going to be here for just support until the support gets back?
Trying to see if they can bait a little bit more aggression out of the bot lane from Butler. See, they're spotted out by that ward. Maybe just trying to stall while waiting for Scuttle. See, like Mike taking a little bit more damage.
Top lane, Slick Mike, or Slick Mick. He's very low. He's now running the direction you want to run. He flashes out, gets that massive Q heal. Does Mac have the jump? Does MGL have the dash in time?
It's going to turn into a 2v3 situation.
Hit away, and yes, that is going to be first blood going over to Mac.
I'm not sure about that flash. When you flash in a direction, that means you got to still keep walking, and you're trying to run away from a Clydesdale just trucking it at you down that river. You're probably not going to get away scot-free, and he didn't. So he gives his life. Camille gets the kill credit, and it is first blood, so it's that 400 gold kill, and that's really hard for top lane to recover from unless Ivern's going to spend a significant amount of time up there.
However, during that entire kerfuffle top, like Mike has lost the majority of his health bar, so all of that level 1 pressure is now absolutely missing, just based on health.
Yeah, this is the power of the Misfortune Vel'Koz lane, is they have quite a bit of poke between them. You can see they're kind of running low on mana because of how they've been playing this out, but that has earned them this health difference, and it makes it very difficult for the Galio to commit, but they will. Bottom side of the map, there's a fight.
Lundstrom goes down. Like Mike is going to go down to another auto as well, but good play. Oh, it's still going on. And I'm not entirely sure about that Ignite if you don't have the Q there, Galio, but yeah, Snickers tried what he could.
Orianna ran out of mana there, so couldn't really follow up to get any more damage, even though the Ignite was committed. But they do at least pick one up for their trouble. They don't give a kill over themselves, so works out pretty well for them.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me, it's a 1-for-1 overall.
Yeah, but I do like the team play that Marquette is showing. Very, very helpful to be able to know that your teammates are going to be there when you're in a tough spot. But they are starting off the Drake. Butler does not appear to know, though though MGL is coming over. He's got the ward down, he knows. But he does... Oh.
Okay.
They really don't want that ward to see anything. Simultaneous control ward placements.
Yeah, 225 gold just dropped there to get yourself an Infernal Drake. You're missing out on a little bit more than just that 225 when you're committing so many people to it.
Yeah.
Works out for them, though. And Infernal definitely helps with their composition. I did say in the draft that they're a little lacking in damage. Not enough to be a huge problem from the get-go, but if they fall behind, then it could become their pain point moving forward.
Absolutely. Some trading going on in bot lane. Ivern is on his way. Vizix is coming to gank. He is currently ganking now. Lundstrom goes down, and Mojo Romo can do nothing but just try to fire off some long-range shots for some pot shotting.
Yeah, those are really smart heads-up play from Marquette as a squad. They had the Misfortune flash timed down to the second, and they knew that if they committed Snickers flash, they were able to...
Oh, what happened to Snickers?
I don't know. Vel'Koz as a support definitely do things like that. If you're low and you get caught out of position, and you don't have your flash because you just used it, you can definitely get taken down. He didn't... he was able to commit the Ignite to that as well, and able to pick up his second kill for that Vel'Koz support. Maybe they'll be able to get this guy rolling enough to really be a threat out of that bottom lane, because more Misfortune's definitely not going to be it. She's level 4 still at 7 minutes.
Again, those 8 missed minions early coming back to bite her very much. Not warding that tri-brush during the whole "Hi, how are you?" phase of the game. But just normal trading patterns going on throughout the map. Clearing out some wards in mid lane is Vizix. Not really much else going on. So cheer the ward kill. It's the only thing happening in the last minute or so.
Well, it looks like top lane's going to be the next focus. Thank you, Observer, as Mac is getting ganked.
Vizix holding on to the Q, just barely misses it as she dashes away.
And that's the power of the Camille, is she both can engage from 2 screens away and immediately disengage like that.
And the back is stopped by Mac, just kind of getting lucky with ward placement. And that's going to open up MGL to take a very early Rift Herald. Possibly they might use it top, though Vizix is still top lane. He has access to Daisy, hasn't quite pulled her out yet. Though I think they are sensing that MGL is on this top side of the map.
Well, in addition to that, you got Orianna just teleported mid to try and get this shove with Galio's help. That'll give them the additional pressure to maybe play up towards that top side if they want to answer the Herald or try and really change what's been happening on the top side of the map. Because remember, there's 1 kill in favor of this Camille, who's just such a strong pick in the current meta. And there we go, another.
Oh, that's just not fair for Slick Mick. He doesn't have a chance. Stunned, feared, trapped, dead.
And that's going to make it even more difficult. If I was the Hecarim MGL here, I would stick around top lane, see if you can get a turnaround kill on him as soon as he's forced to teleport to this tower. There's a teleport that comes through. They're going to get this 1 plate. They don't have really the mana to dive, but maybe they can bait him into face checking a brush. Looks like they're going to take a safe route and recall.
Yeah, they're not going to take the plate, just going to let it stand for right now. Go ahead back. Looks like a lot of resets from a lot of players is going off across the board right here. Or, well, Snickers was baiting us. Ooh, Vizix getting caught out in the wrong side of the jungle. He's not going to go down. He's going to flash out with the shield from the Orianna, who had to flash to get it to him. And he was about to try to take that Scuttle Crab right there. Don't think that's going to happen right now.
Really risky of him to consider even staying in his own jungle. You can see Syndra was on the hunt deeper into that jungle, but he's going to just...
So he might be able to go get that Scuttle now. They didn't commit to it. But no, he's going to just go ahead, be safe, get some health, get some mana, come back, claim it. If he can.
Yep, and that dragon is spawning in just about 20 seconds here. It's going to be a Cloud Drake, leaving either Ocean or Mountain to be the soul for this match. And just a best of 1, despite what your graphics might show at the top of the screen. We just got this 1 match, this 1 chance, 1 opportunity to prove everything, sees everything they ever wanted, you know, and the like. And there's the Cloud. It spawned. Remember, no teleports from either of these top laners, so it's really just a 4v4 on this side of the map. A lot of ultimates available. We'll see who comes out ahead.
And with the control ward still sitting there, they can't really get a whole lot of vision in there. They can only get vision every time they place down a ward. And even then, I don't think it would help all that much because Iron did put down the bushes that they would still be hidden in.
Yeah, it's more to deny the vision of the Drake itself. Make sure that there's little to no chance of being stolen from over the wall. As far as levels of the junglers go, there's level 8 on the Hecarim, means he's a little bit stronger. His smite is a lot stronger. Syndra's out of mana. If I was Marquette, I would just commit to this dragon. You've got vision control,
much she can do.
And it's basically a 4v3 at this point. You just gotta zone out MGL from the steal.
And they do not. The Misfortune Bullet Time absolutely wrecks Marquette's. Oh, and there goes Geek Pro. That's going to be an absolute banger. 4 for 0 ends the Drake.
If there's one thing we learned last week, it's that Lunstorm knows how to channel those perfect Misfortune ults. And that time he picks up quite a few of the opposing team as they're stuck there in the pit. And on top of that, steal of the Drake, because it did go Butler's way. They're going to get a few more plates on the bottom side of the map here, too. They've got Herald. They might even use it to get the last few plates. Yes, there we go. The eye is broken. That's going to put them ahead immensely in gold. Already a 3,000 gold lead before the plates get taken. So that's huge, and it's on the right members. You can see their jungler, support, bottom. These guys deal a lot of damage, and now they are going to have the tools necessary to chew through the front line that Marquette's trying to put together with all those shields.
Oh, absolutely. So there was a massive misplay by Vizix in that last fight. Instead of having Daisy continue to follow and harass Butler and possibly knock up the Hecarim to prevent the ult over the wall, he called it back to help damage the Drake, which was absolutely unneeded. And I think that was a very, possibly game-costing mistake right there by Vizix.
Yeah, the last play around the Drake really didn't work out well for Marquette overall. I would say, speaking from experience, controlling Daisy, microing her in a team fight is actually kind of a doozy. She doesn't always seem to listen to Ivern. She has a mind of her own. But yeah, you definitely want to do what you can. Yeah, Slickmick taken down, and this is what we should expect to actually happen out of the top lane, especially with Camille having inched down and participated in that team fight around the Drake. She was able to pick up a little bit more gold for herself and set the tempo. Now 3-0, Divine Sunderer to just components for Slickmick. That means maybe even one more plate in the next 10 seconds. I mean, it is Camille, so maybe she'll get 2 more in the next 10 seconds, and I'll look at
She's got 5 seconds, and she's gonna get it.
So
3
crazy.
seconds to spare.
Nerf this champion, Riot Games. This is not a healthy spot for her to be in. One thing that you might not know about Camille is that the true damage Q2 in her kit is actually, it converts the Sheen proc if you play it correctly, so that your true damage can actually lead just an absurd amount. But this gank might actually work really well to shut her down.
Perhaps she is low, but she does get the E out. Not sure how much more she can do. And there's the shutdown off the flash from Slickmick. Snickers coming in to try to get some more, but they're just going to go ahead, back off, and maybe take this second Rift Herald, just to at least try to even up the turret score. Though with all of the plates that they were able to secure, it's not going to do much to help with the gold differential, but you know, it's 2v5. They might pick up a couple of kills here, 5v3.
Fortune's here. She's got bullet time available.
There goes the Vel'Koz ultimates. There's bullet time. Slickmick, heavy damage taken. Blue team steals another objective. Slickmick's about to go down. Will anyone else follow? Yes. Ivern will go down. Geeked Bro, not very long for this world. Excuse me, Snickers MVP, not long for this world. Like Mike, not long for this world. Geek Bro, able to flash out, will save himself, but when you talk about getting a shellacking in League, this is the kind of game you look at. 6.3 thousand gold lead, 9 kill lead. They're about to get, they might just crack the inhibitors here.
It's a little early to want to crack the inhibitors. Generally, if you crack them before 20 minutes, then you can't use the super minion pressure to threaten a bigger objective like Baron, and you actually funnel gold into the enemy team otherwise. So it looks like they will decide to recall, go for that Ocean Drake. You saw Lundstrom spamming the pings in the chat. He definitely wants to pick that up. Start stacking up that kind of healing, because if there's one thing that Butler doesn't have, it's like a really beefy front line. And so they want the Camille to be split pushing. Hecarim is really the only other front line, so if they can have a little bit more healing in the fight, that'll keep them from just getting bursted out if they get into a dodgy situation. Of course, here comes that dragon in just about 10 seconds. Ultimates on cooldown for just a few seconds more. Lundstorm's going to pick up the mid lane, and they're setting this up for what could be a really bloody fight, and this might break open the entire game for Butler.
Yes. All right, we got full mana, full resources, except for a few summoners. Every ultimate is up and ready to go. Let's see how it goes. Just kind of a standoff here, just looking at each other, daring the other to make the first move. Looks like Snickers is going to try to be that person to get this engaged. Daisy is summoned, cannot stop Mac from jumping over the wall. Though that Misfortune ultimate does not do much. Daisy doing some work to keep the fight separated. Lands that Q. Snickers goes in, but walks out immediately. Oof. Geeked Bro about to be taken down. That was insane. 3/4 health from just an E and both Qs. Ooh, Slick Mick, I don't know if you want to be taking the Camille onto you because you... Oh, his team is there to help him secure the kill, but Syndra just presses R and he is down. And let's see here, that will leave Butler uncontested for this Ocean Drake.
Yeah, that fight was really sloppy. You can see Mojo Romo's ultimate was basically useless. Lunstorm missed his entirely. That's a lot of key components of their composition just not there anymore. You can see Mojo Romo, he's got so much damage that he can do something like that. The ultimate is actually just kind of the icing on the cake, so it was odd for me to see him lead with that in the last engagement. They do pick up the Drake on the back end of it. They traded a couple lives back and forth. At this point, I think the gold lead is a little bit too big with champions that are so snowbally like the Hecarim, the Misfortune. I want to see if there's an opportunity for Marquette to maybe hard commit to an engagement when they know that either MGL or Mac are just completely absent from the fight, especially Mac. When he's got his teleport down, if he's not doing anything and you can see him on vision, split pushing on the top side of the map, if he's in no position to respond, maybe you need to just hard commit to a fight 4v4 and see if you can instantly burst out more Romo or Lunstorm. And if you can, then you might have a path back in it, but those are slim chances to none.
Oh, very slim. Especially when Butler Mac can just 3v1 at this point, pretty much.
It definitely seems like that. You saw him basically two-shot Geek Bro in a 1v1 off the side of the fight last time around the Drake. He's looking to do more of the same. Yes, he did give that nice, fat, juicy 600 gold shutdown on over to Slick Mick, but that's not really enough to make a difference in the 1v1. As you can see, they're having to have Geek Bro be the one to try to wave clear, but Geek Bro's just sitting on unupgraded boots and Ludens. I wouldn't be surprised if Mac just goes to dive him without a care in the world.
Yes, and they can't even defend their mid lane turret while all this is happening. So it's just, what? I don't think there's really much Marquette can do. Just try to hope for that one horribly misplayed team fight to try to get back into it with a Baron. But outside of that, there's not really much they can do. Slick Mick's not going to do a whole lot without full team support. Snickers, if he wants to go deep in, but Vizix is already 3/4 health. He gets a taunt too, does Snickers, but it doesn't matter. It wasn't on the MF. He just dies. Slick Mick is also just going to softly int. That's the only thing I can say for that engage. It was just a soft int by support and top laner.
It's just so few windows of opportunity for them to actually engage. Snickers thought he had the perfect look where he was able to get in there real quickly and lock down 3 members with a taunt, but then they quickly create the space, step back and start channeling their ultimates, and that's just too much damage for Marquette to handle at this point when they're down this much gold. Now 10,000 gold across the map, and they've got their sights set on the Baron to be next.
Yes, we'll see if they go ahead and take it now or try to do a slower play. But Snickers, you don't want to be going that way. Butler just goes on ahead, retreats back. But man, Snickers, you see that outline of Camille, where you take any damage from Camille, you don't want to keep walking forward, my man. That is just not how you're going to come back into this game. Definitely
a struggle to deal with the double Divine Sunder champions that are definitely popping off at this point. If I was Butler, I would completely commit Camille to a split push, and you'll absolutely bait them into a poorly executed 4v4 team fight where they're down this much gold around the Baron. And as soon as you either take care of a few members, get them off the map, or just stall to the point where Camille can absolutely win the 1v1 in the side lane, you're just going to come out ahead one way or another, if not 3 ways to the next.
And going back to the damage conversation we had earlier, like Mike can't even live long enough to activate the ultimates. I think the highest he's gotten to is C in these last few fights. nowhere near close up, and Geeked Bro is just going to die. Oh, yep, there goes that last. I think we had a slight visual bug where that last orb didn't go on time.
No, it was the Leandry burn. You can see 14 stacks Magi's. Normally shields would do a lot for you to stop some of those dots, but when you have to use the shields to block all of the front end damage, there's nothing left over to save you from that Leandry's burns. They're gonna pick up the Orianna. That was literally just like 2 R buttons, and that was basically it. We'll see if Mac wins this 1v2. 1v4?
Well, I don't think he knows it's a 1v4 yet, but it looks like he's gonna flash the Galio ults, but Mac is going to go down. They just got there too quickly. Not who you wanted on that particular kill, but meanwhile in bot lane, just that classic solo Q taunt. Meanwhile, mid, goodbye inhibitor, bot lane, about to be goodbye turret. No, they're going to go ahead and back off with everybody showing up.
Yeah, they're in a kind of a 4v5 situation at this point. There was only the Noxian Guillotine committed to kill Mac in the top side, so there was plenty of tools available for Marquette to force a fight at their inhibitor turret and actually be able to punish an overstay. So smart choice by Butler here to back off. Great pick on the top side by Marquette because they didn't lose anything more on the map. That was really good. I mean, other than the third Drake, it's an ocean. That was about all that they lost on the map off of that. So trading a kill when you're down this far for Drake is actually a decent point to be in. The unfortunate truth becomes now when the next Drake spawns, you're forced to make a very tough decision about if you're going to contest Soul Point for an Ocean Drake. It's really hard to beat Ocean Soul.
Yeah, especially when you're down 10,000 gold. There's like, it's not even a question, do you contest or not? It's, do I contest and lose the game now, or do I not contest and lose the game in 10 minutes? Like, what's the what? You don't really have an option.
It's an extremely difficult choice, to be sure. And now that they're setting up Vision around the Baron, I expect an explosive team fight. I would be surprised if they actually end up taking the Baron. I think either there's just no contest and they take it for free, or they're just going to win team fight and end the game.
Oh, Vizix. Oh, Vizix.
Destroyed game.
Oof. That was a very well-timed Q from Vizix. Their first turret on the board, thankful to, or courtesy of Slick Mick down bot lane. Looks like they are going on ahead and starting the Baron or doing some warding. I can't quite tell. Yeah, just contesting some vision. Romo, oof. Going to take quite a few autos from Baron. He does not tickle. He hurts quite a bit. Though it's not like Marquette can really do anything to be quite fair with that advantage. But still don't want to give them any easy ways, even with the honey fruits.
Yeah, this is the slow point where they just play around Vision and let the split push happen bottom side. I think Camille should absolutely commit to a fight right here and just immediately engage on that Darius and try and just win that 1v1. She's so far ahead.
Yep. And looks like she's going to take your advice. Mac is going to go on to Slick Mick, and there's nothing he can do.
And now it's an impossible position for Marquette to be in. They have to send someone or multiple members to respond to this Camille who's solo split pushing on the side lane with nobody to answer. That means Baron is on the table, and they do commit. Spotted out by that blue ward. We'll see if Marquette throws a Hail Mary to try and steal this away.
Yes. What can Snickers and Vizix do? Can they do anything? We have a TP in by Mac, and it's going to stop pretty much anything from happening. Like Mike, oh, he nearly takes down both Snickers and Like Mike by himself. And Butler, or Mojo Romo is able just to consistently keep Vizix out of the fights. And that's just a very clean Baron. Only took 1 kill to start the Baron, 1 kill during it. There's just nothing Marquette can do here. They're down 11, almost 12,000 gold closing in on. There's just nothing they can do.
Yeah, we saw this same kind of story out of Butler last week, and that is a really strong bot lane team fight oriented composition, and then a strong split push from Mac. As soon as you can get the pressure on the top side of the map to Mac in his favor for him to win that 1v1, you just let him be. He's going to set the tempo in that side lane, taking down Slick Mick, taking down Geek Bro as these solo laners try and answer this crazy Camille pick. And then if you do try and commit 4v4, good luck. Walking face first into a bullet time. It's just so much damage for you to try and shoot through when you know you can count on Lundstorm to pick up those kills early on in the game. And now that they've got Baron, it's so difficult to commit to a fight around Dragon.
Like Mike getting close to that ulti time. Can he get one more attack? He launches the ulti but can't do anything. Looks like Butler is going to absolutely rout Marquette again. Slick Mick's only able to get one kill onto the MF, but that's it. And looks like they're going to take Soul, but they're just going to take game.
Yeah, they got about 20 seconds on most members, give or take, to end this game. They're going to at least get 2 inhibitors. I don't know if they actually have the time to fully end the game, but they're at least going to go for it. Worst case scenario, they take a couple inhibitors, maybe one Nexus turret, and then they retreat and take the soul point to finish out the match. We'll have to see what they elect to do.
Well, they're going to try to at least get one Nexus turrets. They are going to get that. Mac is wanting more, but everybody else says, one's enough. We got a soul to collect. And
right,
so that's what they're going to do.
Yep, it's going to be those 2 Intimidators, plus they'll maybe 1 turret, like I said. Then they're going to retreat through the enemy base, pick up a little bit of gold on their way out, maybe commit to a skirmish?
Snickers taking the wrong type of damage. Like Mike, going to go down. Can't help it. Snickers goes down. I don't know quite what his plan was, but it wasn't very good. Slick Mick gonna go down to the bullet time. Butler Mac, is he going to, oh, there's the Ocean Soul. So they got everything they could want and then some. They got kills, they got the soul, and Wave is there to take the game.
Yep, really well played by Butler. They set up every single objective exactly how they wanted it, and the last and final objective is the Nexus. It will fall at the 30-minute mark on the dot. Congratulations, Butler. They're going to pick up yet another win, another notch in their belt. Fantastic play out of them.
But man, that first Dragon fight where Vizix called back Daisy, I think that was a massive misplay. You just let Daisy act on her own there. She will go auto, she will knock up, but you also have to smites. Like, I've noticed after the fight that just, oh my goodness. How do you have Drake there and just not smites?
It's definitely really difficult to put yourself in that kind of position and not respect the AoE wombo combo that Butler had drafted for. Looks like we do have an interview coming our way in just a few seconds here. It looks like we're going to have Butler Mac, the top lane split push extraordinaire. After a short break, we'll come back and talk to him about his amazing Camille play. So don't go anywhere. When we come back, it's an interview with Mac.
Welcome back, everyone. We just saw Butler absolutely demolish Marquette's. With me is Superman and probably MVP of that last game, Butler Mac. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And Superman, you had a question for him about the draft?
Yeah, first of all, congratulations on that victory. It was a very straightforward match. I want to know a little bit more about your team's plan coming into it, where you guys drafted a really strong split push. What did you think about after you had that early lock-in Camille and they answered with Darius in the first part of the draft?
So, first off, thanks for having me on. We actually have been planning this draft for a couple days now. We looked at what Marquette was playing in their previous match, as well as a lot of their solo queue habits, and we thought we had a pretty big advantage in top lane. So I wanted to play something with a strong laning phase, and the Darius didn't really phase me. It's kind of a cheese champion where if you get snowballing, It's really hard to come back from, but if you know how to lane, he's pretty easy to deal with. And for the rest of the team, we, have a, not going to reveal too much of the secret sauce, but we have a pretty good idea of how we want to play the game, and we can augment a couple pieces and really change up our draft based on them, which you probably saw with our Felkaz bot.
Yeah, that was a curious pick for sure. It seems like you guys generally go for a pretty strong 4v4 and look for a split push top lane. At least that's what I saw last week and this week, and you were successful in both. I want to take a quick moment to ask you what kind of went wrong in your game earlier today.
St. John's is a really, really good team. So I believe they won the split last semester. They just have a ton of individual skill, and we made a lot of mistakes that put us on the back foot when really we should have been leading that game. And even though we were able to claw our way back into the game with dragons and a couple team fights, it uh, you know a couple mistakes like getting caught out here or there and not being all as a group really lost us the game. But there's just so much to improve on as a whole. Like we feel like we're nowhere near our peak yet.
So we asked Lunstorm last week after your dominating victory over Seton Hall, what was in store for your team moving forward, and he said it's the up and up. You guys expect to really be one of the top competing teams competing teams, for the title this split. How does a game like today, just now, do for your confidence moving forward?
I mean, we just uh, we just smashed Marquette. It wasn't really close. So I think there's a clear divide between the top couple teams and the rest of the league, and I think it's pretty evident now that we're among the top echelon, and we're really pushing for that championship if we keep improving throughout the semester.
Thanks for answering my questions. Bone had one for you as well.
Yes. Now I have noticed you are on. You said you were on your fourth competitive role. You've mentioned this before. What other roles have you had, and what are kind of some of the struggles that you've noticed? Because as someone who also plays a lot of roles, it's not always easy to find like that one role that just sticks with you. But I mean, you seem pretty strong in whatever they put you.
Yeah, so I started out as a jungler, and then when we initially formed the team, I switched to mid lane. Um, and then I went back to jungle for a little bit. I had to fill in for AD carry because our player took a semester uh, like abroad, and then I went back to mid, and now I'm finally top lane. We're a smaller school, so we're really trying to get the most juice out of all the players we have, and what that comes down to is me having to fill in for whatever role is needed. And I think a lot of it's just about knowing the game and how you want to play competitively, and then finding your niche in a role. So it's a lot of practice. It's a lot of work to learn a new role uh, often, but with enough discipline and practice, you know, it hasn't been too hard. But I definitely feel like I haven't been able to hit my peaks because uh, um, I've been playing so many different roles. But it's definitely helped me understand the entirety of the game better.
Yeah, I can see how that would be such a benefit, especially when you have a small school. Having to do a whole lot of filling, just having general game sense is going to be able to help you out tremendously, no matter what role they stick you in. Um, that's all I have. That's all the questions I have based on that. Uh, I'll just let you have floor to mention anything interesting that you think you want people to know, either about Butler or about yourself, or maybe even one of your teammates.
I want to shout out my support Romo this game for going crazy on Vel'Koz, and our coach Brown Joe for helping us prep for all the drafts and making us accountable and really focus and disciplined with our practice. And everyone else, I'm gonna try to bring us home a Big East championship.
Well, all right.
Fantastic.
Thank you for being on, Mac. Again, excellent job today. Your team did very well, and I dare say you may be competing for split championship with the Big East, possibly going a little bit further.
Thank you.
All right, and I do believe that will do it for us today over on the official EGF stream. Tune in back same time next week, 1 Eastern, 3 Eastern. Make sure to follow the Big East and all of the competing teams on their Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram accounts. I'm Longbone. With me is Superman Casting. You got anything to say before we clock out here?
Oh, it's been a pleasure. And thank you to all the viewers for joining us for this fantastic Big East League of Legends action.